Hey, it's What's Up Wednesday with James, and today I'm going to talk to you about three quick things in regards to our purchase and sales agreement. Again, as always, I want to bring good value to you and help you with your everyday endeavors in this real estate world that we practice real estate with our clients every day. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is pretty much a simple one, but I want to kind of give a little clarity on it. Is number 2 on page 1, the purchase price of the property be paid by the buyer. Now, make sure you also know that the contract is deemed to be talking about paying these funds in U.S. dollars. Okay, so not pesos or three chickens or anything else. Contracts today are paid in U.S. dollars. Most people know that, understand that. But what most people don't know is when you are paying all cash, people are like, well, why do we need the F-201, which is the all cash exhibit? Now, people say, well, if I'm paying all cash, why do I need that cash exhibit? Well, let me tell you exactly why that exhibit was put together in the first place. It was really for two folds. Number 1, the buyer wants an appraisal. And number 2, the seller wants proof of funds. If the seller doesn't care about having proof of funds and the buyer doesn't want an appraisal done, there's no need to have the F-201 because the contract is deemed to be closing with all cash regardless of where the funds are coming from, regardless of your wiring from your bank account or lenders involved or anything like that. So just know that moving forward, that the only time you really need an F-201, which is all cash exhibit, is if the buyer wants an appraisal or the seller wants proof of funds. So that's number 1. Keep that in mind. Number 2, I've had this come up to me in the last couple of weeks, and it has to do with inspections and due diligence. And I want you to be aware that the buyer and buyer's representative shall have the right to enter the property at buyer's expense and at reasonable times, including immediately prior to the closing, to inspect, examine, test, appraise, and survey the property. So, what's a reasonable time? To me, a reasonable time is, normal working hours, Monday through Friday. I'd say, not me personally, 9 a.m. to, no later than probably 7, 8 o'clock. But you need to talk to your seller and find out what's reasonable to them, because it really doesn't specify what quote unquote reasonable time means. But it sure isn't at 11 o'clock at night or 3 o'clock in the morning or anything like that. So keep that in mind. Upon prior notice to the seller, the buyer and the buyer's representative has the right to inspect the property at any time, as long as that time is deemed to be reasonable. And so all the way up to the closing. So they should do a walkthrough at the end to make sure the house is in the same condition they saw it when they first looked at the property before making that offer. And the third thing I want to talk to you about today, which is really a neat feature that's in our purchase and sales contract that most people don't know or they've not read, is what is the limit of the broker's liability? Well, I'm going to read it to you real quick because it's really good. The buyer and seller acknowledge that the brokers, that's brokers and or affiliated licensee, shall under no circumstances have any liability greater than the amount of the real estate commission paid hereunder to the broker, excluding any commission amount paid to the cooperating real estate broker, if any. So if there's an issue, you're found to be liable for something, the most they can come after us for, per this item on number 7, which is on page 7 of 8, is actually just the commission amount. And of course, if we co-opt another amount out, they can't come after us for that, since we've already co-opted that out. But just that amount that we as Southern Classic Realtors would have received on our end. But here's something that's really cool. If no real estate commission is paid to the broker, then a sum not to exceed $100. $100 is it. That's the most that we can be liable for in any issue inside of our contract. And I want to thank the GAR Forms Committee for putting this verbiage in here. I think it's phenomenal. This contract is really designed to not only just help the buyer and the seller, but also help the real estate agents too. Because we work hard as realtors, and I think that's excellent on item number 7, the limit of the broker's liability. It's either the commissions, or if no commission's been paid, the most you can be liable for is $100. So that's pretty cool. Also, item B, notwithstanding the above, shall have no liability in excess of $100 for any loss of funds as a result of wiring or cyber fraud. So that's pretty cool to know. So I think those three things will help you pretty good today. Remember, the F201 is only for two reasons. Remember that a buyer and a buyer's representative can definitely, upon giving notice to the seller at reasonable times, go back in and inspect. And remember what our liability is on as far as anything that we were to unfortunately do wrong, that we're only exposed to our commissions or up to $100. So I hope this has been helpful. I enjoy doing this for you guys on Wednesdays. It's What's Up Wednesday with James. And I really appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good one. Thanks so much.